Hey guys, so I'm here to show you how I got my hair blonde for my birthday. Yes, I did blonde for my 32nd birthday using Wella lightener. And I'm going to show you the process of how I got my natural hair to be blonde. First things first, disclaimer, do not do anything that I'm doing, okay? I did not wear gloves, but the first thing I had to do was retouch up those roots, baby. I know that a lot of stylists refuse to do blonde retouches. I decided to take it upon myself and do my own retouches because it just wasn't working out for me and other stylists and trying to get them to retouch my blonde hair. When I would come with my blonde hair, they would just want to cut it all off. So I said, okay, I will do my own retouches from now on. And this is actually my second retouch that I've done. Please do not do what I am doing, okay? You could do what I'm doing, but don't do it like how I'm doing it because I'm not doing it the way you're supposed to. I'm supposed to be wearing gloves. I'm not wearing gloves. I'm not supposed to be using my actual bare fingers. I'm just going through and making sure I get every single part of the black part of my hair, okay? We are going through it. We are making sure that lightener gets on every black root. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Once again, I need to do this disclaimer. Please make sure you use gloves whenever you use any chemicals on your hair, okay? I had hair anxiety and I just wanted to do my hair very quickly because I didn't like the way it was looking and I wanted to make sure it looked good for my 32nd birthday. But please protect yourself, wear gloves. What I'm doing after making sure I got it on all the roots, I'm going back through and touching it up. I'm touching up any part that I feel I missed. Okay, so I didn't get every part, but as you can see, it is changing. So that's how I know that I already got lightener on there, and I just need to go through and see any dark pieces that I can find. So now we are preparing the hair to lay down those tracks, baby. Yes, this hairstyle, I did a combination of some things. I did a sew-in, I did a quick weave, and I did clip-ins, and I also did one tape-in. So you're not going to see all of that in this video, but just know that it was a lot going on in my head when I was in Thailand, okay? I had to braid my hair in order to sew it down and to clip it onto my hair. I only did 2 braids, but braiding my hair was just so the track would have something to hold on to. I went ahead and braided it up and then used those braids to attach my clip-ins. And whatever the clip-ins didn't clip to, I just sewed some hair onto it, which you will see later on in this video. I just want you guys to understand that when you're doing your own hair, sometimes it's okay to be creative and do things that don't really make sense, okay? You need to just figure out for yourself what works, and then you can use that as a discovery. So I've figured out that clipping in my hair does work for me if I'm going to do a low ponytail. And so because I only had one bundle of the 32-inch hair, which I got for my 32nd birthday, I decided that I would only be able to do a ponytail. I couldn't do any full-blown quick weaves. So the clip-ins just worked for me. Now, I will say that by the end of my Thailand trip, my 32-inch bundle shrunk down to about an 18-inch, okay? But here is how long and luxurious it looked in the beginning. And I'm just blending my natural hair in with these tracks. And I just want you guys to see that, yes, I do use a hot comb. And someone asked me while I was in Thailand, how am I able to basically straighten my hair while it's still blonde without it melting off? Because if you know, blonde is very damaging on the hair and too much heat can cause it to melt off. So what I do is I do an extensive treatment before I put any heat on it. Now, this is the final touches that I added. I basically implemented some tape and extensions, but instead of taping them in, I glued them in. And I also want to point out that I use white glue instead of black glue because it is blonde. And when you're using blonde, you want to use white glue because it will dry clear. Versus if you use black glue, it may bleed. But you can use black glue on blonde hair if you have a lot of black root coming out. So this was a fresh blonde retouch. So using the white glue was the best option. But this taping extensions that I had were brown with blonde highlights. So I put them in between my hair to give it a nice little contrast and to give myself a nice little highlighty look. And I'm using my hot comb and my flat iron to basically blend it all together. And as you can see, it blended perfectly. And the last thing I had to do was just sew in the tracks in the back, which I mentioned before with the clip-ins. The clip-ins are already in. I'm going back in and I'm sewing in additional pieces because I wanted it to look as full as possible. And I knew that I wasn't going to be wearing my hair down in Thailand. I knew I was going to be wearing a ponytail, but I just wanted my ponytail to be as full as it possibly could be. And I wanted to be able to do different looks with it. And I was able to achieve that by making sure that I added some pieces into the back. And I made sure to bring some pieces with me in Thailand just in case my hair got messed up and I had to start all over. So this is the final result. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I will be posting more videos of my Thailand trip so you guys can see my hair and you can see how it basically turned out nice, but then over time, it got ruined. And now I'm just rocking my natural blonde afro, and I got to figure out what am I going to do to my hair next. All right. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And if you're going to comment, make sure you know that I will clap back if you say something that I don't like. All right. But I appreciate the views anyway. And I will see you guys on the next video.
The time of my life, no, I never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's a truth.